Most people have heard about Good Friday. Even more people know about Easter Sunday. But very few people tend to talk about the Thursday before all of those events occur. What happened on the night before Jesus was crucified, on a date that in church history we call Maundy Thursday. In many ways, it's one of the most important days in all of Holy Week. And so today we're going to take a few minutes and dive into some of the pieces of the story and help us to understand the importance of Thursday of Holy Week. There are three major scenes that take place during the Thursday of Holy Week, on Maundy Thursday. The first one is the Last Supper. Jesus, as a good Jewish rabbi, gathers his closest friends and disciples for a meal, specifically for the Passover meal. This is a meal that goes all the way back in our Bibles to the right near the beginning, where in the book of Exodus, the people of Israel are set free out of Egypt. And in that, they learn about the Passover, and they're told to continue to celebrate the Passover meal as a remembrance every year of God's delivering work in their lives. During this Passover meal, Jesus takes bread and he breaks it, and he takes a cup of wine and he shares it with those that were around the table. And he tells them to eat and to drink. That the bread represents his body broken, and the wine represents his blood that has been poured out. That there's something going on that's beyond what's happening just in this room that's going to reverberate throughout history. It's a seemingly small moment, but it's a huge moment in the life of the Jewish people. He is literally saying that I am reconstituting this Passover meal to be something different, because deliverance is going to happen again, but it's going to be completely different. It's going to happen through Jesus Christ, of his eventual death on the cross and his resurrection from the grave. Christians today still practice communion or remembrance of the Last Supper by eating of bread and drinking of juice or wine as a way to remember Christ's sacrifice for us and his love displayed on the cross. The second scene we see is the foot washing scene. This is one that often gets overlooked, but Jesus, as the disciples are coming in for that Last Supper, Jesus takes off his own cloak, and he actually gets down on his knees and he grabs a towel, and the Master, the Lord, the Creator of the heavens and the earth, stoops down to wash his disciples' feet. Now, that's gross enough in today's terms, but then people were walking around in sandals, kind of crude versions of sandals, in a world where all sorts of things would have been on the side of the road. These feet would have been just nasty and gross and all sorts of things, and yet Jesus stoops down to wash his disciples' feet as an act of love. See, this is a servant's job, but Jesus, the Master, the Lord over all, does it for the people. He takes on the posture of a servant to serve those out of love for those that are around him. And then there's the third scene where, especially in the Gospel of John, the fourth gospel that we have, we're told that Jesus actually teaches quite a bit as this Last Supper meal is taking place. And in the midst of this, he engages all sorts of different types of teaching moments. He prays for his disciples. He prays for us, actually. But the one thing that he does that is really powerful is he says, I have a new commandment that I am going to be giving to you. This new commandment really is an old commandment, just reiterated anew. But Jesus says that the new commandment is this: to love one another in the same way that Christ has loved them. To love one another as Christ has loved them. This is considered the mandate that Jesus gives his disciples, which is where we get the term Maundy, which is a Latin version of that word mandate, that is in this term Maundy Thursday that we are celebrating and looking at today. You see, this commandment really shows what Maundy Thursday is meant to be all about. And it shows through every act that happens in this day. In the Last Supper, Jesus tells of a body that will be broken and blood that will be poured out. Why? Because of love. In the foot washing, Jesus bends his knee to serve others. Why? Because of love. And eventually, Jesus goes to Gethsemane, the Garden of Gethsemane, where he prays and has this intense moment of prayer, of preparing himself for his eventual betrayal by Judas Iscariot. And why does he go and gather some with him to go pray? It's because he knows that what will take place over the next 24 hours will be the greatest act of love the world has ever seen. You see, Jesus didn't just say to love one another. He actually lived it out. He got on his knees and he showed it to his disciples and shows it to us still. See, that's the through line, all the way through the upper room to the garden and then to the cross and even to the empty tomb. It's not religion or rules or anything else. It's love that serves. Love that it costs something, but it also makes it so very valuable. So whether you've ever observed Maundy Thursday before, whether you've done that for decades, or whether this is the first time you've maybe ever heard the word or invited into the story, the night is worth kind of sitting in. The stories are worth sitting in. Tomorrow is Good Friday, where we remember the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Sunday is coming, but let's not skip Thursday, because there's something really powerful and important for us to remember there. Happy Holy Week, and be blessed.